Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to part 3. So I got the engine on the engine stand and I've started stripping this thing down a little bit more. Removing the harmonic balancer, front timing cover, and the top distributor plate. Now I'm just gonna focus on tearing this thing down. We are like right there, and then once we do that, the block will be put into a tank to get rid of all this oil and grime. So without further ado, let's get to work. Alright guys, so this is where I'm at so far. Remove the sprocket off of the crankshaft. Timing chain guides, timing tensioner, sandwich plate, oil plate, or oil pan, not plate. The splash guard that goes under here. The pickup tubes for the oil filter and pump. Oil pump has been removed. And you can get a really good look of all the connecting rods. I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous videos or not, but I'll be using forged aluminum 40-over pistons for the build, and then I'll be using the stock connecting rods. Just shaving some weight off of the connecting rods. I think there's room for improvement. They could be finished up a little bit more, and then it'll be off to machine shop to get balanced and polished, which is going to be awesome. So I think I've reached a good stopping point for tonight. And in the next clip, I will be removing the piston and connecting rods and crankshaft. So till then, see you guys tomorrow. Okay, it's still the same night. I just got impatient and removed the connecting rods and pistons. Everything came out fine. The liners look to be in really good shape, actually. They should bore out nicely. And then we get to the connecting rod bearings, and these guys are shot. Let's see if this will focus for me. I don't think it's gonna do it. There we go. Anyways, these are, as you can see, they need to be replaced anyways. I'm very, very curious to see what the crankshaft bearings are looking like. They're all 12, and now that the connector rod and piston are out, you can actually see what I'm talking about now, about just cleaning these up and reusing them. Shave down this end piece here and then get all that casting finish off, and yeah. Okay, now I'm for sure wrapping it up for tonight. Cheyenne and I are gonna go get something to eat. Tomorrow I'm gonna focus on getting out the crankshaft and all the studs out of the block, and then from there it will be dunked and cleaned, and then the heads will be sent off for porting and polishing and shaving, so that'll be awesome. Anyways, I will for sure catch you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so I've been at this for a few hours now, and the method I was using was the 2-nut method, where you put one nut on the stud and you back them opposite of each other, so one's loosening, one's tightening. That will not work. It'll work for some. If you're trying to reuse the studs, I would say forget it, just because they're so corroded inside the block. I would definitely just buy Jaguar replacement studs or ARP studs, just because I mean, really, there's no other way than getting a grab out socket and hammering it on the end of one of these studs and using a breaker bar to pull them out. Unless there's a tool that I don't know about that specializes in taking out studs from a block. But these were really corroded inside the block, and so this is what I'm doing now. Just hammered it on, and I'm using an adapter, but and then using a breaker bar, and I was able to get out all the studs faster doing it this way than I did with 2 using the other method. So for doing this, I would highly suggest just buying new studs, and I mean, you're already here anyway, so no point in trying to reuse the old one. So I'm gonna get this last one out, and I'm calling it for a night. Hey, what's up, guys? It's a new day. So some of you guys are probably already laughing because I did not know what a stud extractor was. Last night, I was really frustrated because I wasn't able to get out the studs and everything. I googled stud extractor, and this was actually the first thing to come up. So I went out to my local auto parts store and bought one. Now I'm happy to say that all of these studs are removed. I'm not gonna lie though, all these studs were really like corroded inside the block. This little guy, it was struggling pretty good. And it's also really hard to take the stud extractor off the stud once it's off, but there she is. No more studs inside the block. Actually looks pretty good. So now, the last thing, and honestly, if I was going to do it again, I'd probably take out the crankshaft first, but the reason being is so much of this stuff comes out of the holes when you remove the studs that it gets everywhere in the cylinders and all that. Obviously, it's going to be cleaned in the hot tank before, but yeah. Okay, well, now that the studs are out, we can move the block upside down and get to this crankshaft. So let's get to that. Alright, so the crankshaft is now out. Sockets I used was 3 1/4 and 9/16. All the caps came out fine aside from the rear main seal. What I did was use some soft jaw pliers and wiggled it back and forth until the seal broke, and then I was able to lift it up in equal parts and it finally came out. The bearings for the crankshaft were shot. These were pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie, and actually I'll show you guys this crankshaft as well. I don't know if this is gonna pick it up. Pretty good shape, but it definitely needs to be polished, and it's gonna get balanced as well. So now that the block is now bare, it's gonna be going to the machine shop here in about a week or 2, and I think I'm leaning towards boring the block to 93 millimeters opposed to the 91. I mean, really, because if you're paying the money for a custom set of pistons, you might as well go and get the bigger displacement. There's a few other engines that I can think of that use a similar piston size to if you were going to bore the block to 93, so I want to try buying not a set but a piston to see if those will work, and if they work, great, and then if not, custom set of pistons, which I guess would be it really is not a really big deal, but it's got my thought process on it. And then when the block gets back, I'm sending the heads out. Really excited about that. And then in the next video you guys are going to see is the modifications I'm going to be doing to the intake manifolds. Currently just waiting on parts on that. So look out for that video. Anyways, I got a big mess to clean up here. So I'm going to do that. And I'll catch up with you guys in a second. Alright, so this is going to be the end of part 3. Finally got this thing down to a bare engine block. It took 3 parts, but we did it. I'm really excited to send this thing off to the machine shop. I'll definitely keep you guys updated. As I mentioned before, I'm working on the intake manifolds, so the next video you guys will see on the engine series is going to be the intake manifolds. Another thing I'd like to point out is the support. I really appreciate the support on the channel. It's really cool to see. So with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.